Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Real Talk with Darius. Remember to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share this channel, share this video. We're going to check out Benny Johnson's doing a report. And you know Benny Johnson, those of you who follow him, he does a great job. Let's check out what he is helping to uncover, or at least reporting on, regarding the latest news that DOGE has something big they want to tell us. Let's check it out.
There was an incredible discovery that the DOGE team had made. He called it horrible and incredible. Can you reveal that yet? Give us details on what it was about?
I can confirm that we have arrested the elusive sock drawer gnome that has plagued this country for hundreds of years, stealing people's socks and underwear. Although the sleep gremlin, who slides your sock only halfway off your foot at night, is still at large, and we will keep you updated on that.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. The Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, has already been delivering for the American people, saving nearly $1,000 per taxpayer, billions of dollars in waste and fraud, and making quite a bit of news. Like, for instance, there are millions of criminal aliens who have been added to our voter rolls and are collecting government welfare.
DOGE has found that immigration gave a work authorization document to illegals just 5 months after they filed for asylum. That document allowed them to work while they waited to hear whether their asylum request had been accepted or denied. So they could work as an illegal, knowing it would take years before their case was heard. The Immigration Department mailed them a Social Security number. No interview, no proof of identity. Just put it in the mail. Here's your number. In 2021, DOGE says 270,000 new aliens were issued Social Security numbers, 590,000 in 2022, 964,000 in 2023, and 2.1 million in 24, right before Biden left office.
Hey everybody, it's Tony Robbins. Listen, I've spent the last 43 years now working with people all over the world in 100 countries to show them how.
This is treason. People should hang for this. But according to the White House, this is nothing compared to what DOGE has found next. This is really alarming when Donald Trump says something's going to horrify you, when Elon Musk says you're going to be shocked, and when Carolyn Levitt confirms all of it, you know it's about to hit the fan. So here's what happened today. Carolyn Levitt was asked about a DOGE finding that is a massive discovery and will be horrifying to the American people. Here's what she had to say.
Thursday told us that there was an incredible discovery that the DOGE team had made. He called it horrible and incredible. Can you reveal that yet? Give us details on what it was about?
There has been a discovery. I hate to leave you hanging on a cliff, but I don't want to get ahead of the president on that. But I can confirm there has been a discovery. It's just not quite yet ready for release.
This is a legal issue.
I hope y'all caught that part. She says, I'm going to have to get back to you on that. She didn't want to get bad. No, I take it back. She didn't want to get ahead of the president, as the previous secretary would say, press secretary, would say. Now, one thing I do want to point out, and this is the thought that came to my head, she did say that, and she has not said that in any of her reporting, her press secretarial duties. She didn't say circle back, or she didn't have, I forget the exact words, but she didn't have anything to say. Like if we got somebody who's, and no, it has nothing to do with skin color or sexual preferences.
This is something that they're negotiating behind the scenes because of its potential to destroy the system. And we think we know a little bit about what's going on here, because we've asked our sources and we've come up with, as best as we possibly can, figured out that there are some currently elected leaders who have been dipping their hands into the cookie jars, so to speak, and they're all going to go down. And it's going to be pretty devastating. And this is why they're holding back on this and waiting for the exact right time. We heard Carolyn Levitt say that she's not going to get ahead of the president. Well, Donald Trump only makes these announcements when he absolutely has to, and when there is a move to be made, a battlefield move for conquest. Here's President Trump saying, I'm very excited about this one.
I would say Elon will stay for a certain period of time, and then he's going to want to get back smart people with them.
Do you think he can
And they're working very closely with our secretaries and the people that are the heads of
Do you think
You would appoint him to another position once his 130
Well, I
days?
would. I think Elon's great, but he also has a company to run or a number of companies to run. That he can do this, that he can find the time. He loves the country. That's why he does it.
So President Trump saying that Elon Musk found something today that is horrifying. This was a video from Sunday heading back to Washington, D.C. What exactly is it? Well, if you go look through Elon's timeline, within 24 hours of Trump saying that there's something absolutely horrifying, disturbing, and then we're all going to find out about it very soon, you'll find this. At about the exact same time that Trump was saying that, here's what Elon posted on X. To Chuck Schumer. Let's start with Chuck Schumer. Trump's unleashed chaos on America. His tariffs hit families the largest tax hikes. DOGE is sabotaging Social Security. And market is having its worst 3 days since COVID. Congressional Republicans only love billionaires. Elon Musk responding. Chuck Schumer. I'm starting to think you're getting a piece of the action with the government fraud. But no, that couldn't possibly be the reason, could it? A little on the nose there. Elon Musk is regularly using sarcasm in the way that he communicates. What we hear is that there are elected Democrat officials.
Before Benny gives his take on some of this, don't you find that interesting that the how Chuck Schumer loves to chime in? None of these things he pushes has anything to do with America First agendas. He always gives his support around open borders, around people's sexual or genderized positions. He doesn't say anything when there was a lot of crime that was going on. Some of you voted for the Democrat Party. Many of you did. Or you have family members, friends who did. They don't care about you either. See, most people have been put under the illusion that this is a two-party system and they have to choose the lesser of two evils. In actuality, there's evil on all sides. This is why President Trump in 2015 said he was going to drink the swamp, and in 2020 and beyond, he was talking about the deep state. It's because state truly is deep. Pay attention to what, I don't give you Republican, liberal, or Democrat. Pay attention to what is and is not said by your officials.
Officials who are implicated in the fraud, and they have the receipts. Of course, all of these government payments go through payment systems, and that whether it's on a district level or on a federal level, that there's going to be a lot of hell to pay. This has caused some members of the DOGE subcommittee to out and out say that people are going to flee Washington, D.C. Tim Burchett predicted that DOGE discoveries will lead to resignations in D.C.
Keep this in mind and listen to what this congressman or this senator says. Very, very important. Also, I want to call to your remembrance, and some of you probably don't even know this, but a few years ago, there was a senator by the name of, a congressman by the name of Madison Cawthorn. You can look him up. He was in a wheelchair. He is in a wheelchair still. And he came out maybe 2 or 3 years ago where he was talking about there was sexual innuendos or sexual misbehavior that was happening in Congress. Not soon after, he took a lot of backlash. And personally, I believe Kevin McCarthy, who was the Speaker of the House at that time, he came out and I think he actually came against the young man and was a part of the cause. This is my personal belief. Part of the cause while that the young man did not get reelected is because he told the truth on what really happened. See, it's not just that our Congress, our leaders, our political leaders, our government officials, and the bureaucrats, the unelected people who works in government. It's not that they just steal money from us. A lot of them steal money from us. I can say all of them, but there are also there's a lot of immorality going on. Now, I know for some people you say, well, I don't want to talk about religion because that's what basically what morality and immorality has to do with is one's personal convictions, one's personal lifestyle choices. But those choices that people live by, they affect you and they affect me. You just don't hear it. And so I guess for some people, as long as you don't hear about it, it's okay. It's okay if that's what people want to do in the comforts of their own home, their own environments. That's their business. But your personal conviction, you truly cannot separate who you are in your professional role as well as an individual. My core values drive what I do in the workplace, drive what I do in my career. If I don't have any core values, that means I have no foundation, no firm foundation, which means I'm really not trustworthy. If I'm put in a certain situation, I'm likely to do anything. If you okay, if you or someone you know is okay with that, when you have no foundation, and that you can actually be have a be what I'm gonna call double minded. You can be one person professionally and another person personally, or vice versa. If you okay with that, each his own. I'm not okay with that, and I know we hold certain people who are in certain powerful positions, especially, to a completely different standard because maybe it makes some people feel good. But I want to know what you believe because once I discover what you believe, I know whether or not you're trustworthy based on my set of core values. Again, this is not about being perfect, but it's just about being able to trust that the decisions you're making are truly in my best.
Well, what does he know? Carolyn Levitt confirms DOGE discovery. What is that discovery exactly? Elon Musk on Fox News this weekend saying,
I'm making 4 times what the annual returns of the world's best hedge funds without doing any work.
This.
I think they're getting desperate because, I mean, the reason we're seeing this extreme amount of hatred and violence is because we're actually succeeding in getting rid of corruption and waste. If we weren't succeeding in getting rid of corruption and waste, they wouldn't care. But we are succeeding. Thanks. Without President Trump, this would be impossible. So I'd just like to say, it's only possible with this president.
So Elon saying they're trying to murder me and come after my companies and burn all the Teslas because of what I'm finding, because I'm cutting off the money spigot. And you end the money and people start getting really desperate, right? When they run out of money. Carolyn Levitt announcing that DOGE has made a massive discovery and will be released shortly, that she can't get ahead of President Trump, who's also teasing this. So anyway, this is better. This is going to be something obviously very, very big. Now, we spoke to Tim Burchett about this post. As a congressman from Tennessee, one of our favorite guests to ever have on the show. And we said, what could this possibly be? I think this answer will explain a great deal. Here you go. You're on the DOGE subcommittee. You just said that there might be some corruption inside of the government rentals of empty buildings, members of Congress owning those buildings, outright corruption. The head of DOGE, Elon Musk, saying today to Chuck Schumer, I'm starting to think that you're getting a piece of the action with all the government fraud. That couldn't possibly be true, could it? Congressman, you must know something about this. Has Elon discovered something about Chuck Schumer, his family?
I'd say he's probably discovered something about everybody. Elon's got that paper trail, and he told us in the meeting, our little private meeting, there's a paper trail that's going back to Washington, D.C. And dadgummit, somebody better be let out of one of these buildings in handcuffs because this is real. This is going on. We've seen it all over. We see it in California with some of the elected officials out there. It's been documented in the past, and nobody's willing to say anything about it or do anything about it. They get reelected, and they get put right back in leadership. And that's.
Did you hear that? He said somebody better be let out in handcuffs. And I know that's what many of us want that. We want some justice. I don't want just anybody going to prison. I want people who actually are criminal, number one, that you can literally show are criminal. And we want to see justice. Why should we believe in a system that does not work? This is awesome, y'all.
That's why it's so important to have a Justice Department that's not weaponized against the people, but is weaponized against corruption. And we've currently got that. We've just got to hold on to it. And I don't know if we've got the guts or the willpower to do it, because Congress is gutless, Benny. Congress is gutless. We ought to, every day, we ought to be demanding that these bills move forward, and nobody's doing it. Nobody. I mean, a few of us are. But until these committee chairmen move forward with this stuff and we get out of being compromised, I would suggest to you that we will continue on this downhill slide.
We've got a lot of compromise, a lot of Chinese hooks into members of Congress.
I mean, they're in our military installations. They're like, oh, they're flying satellites over. They don't need to fly satellites over. They're running the commissaries. They have access to people's credit cards, social security numbers, all their information. You do not think that the Chinese are making files every day on this stuff. This is just, and what the hell? Why are we letting them in these places? Why are we letting them buy property? It's just, they're not going to take it from us, Benny. We're just giving it to them. And how we give it to them is greed. And that's why they're so angry about these tariffs, because Congress is so greedy. We have been bought and sold by lobbyists and the national chambers of commerce. They're coming out now against the tariffs. Well, of course they are. They're in bed with the Chinese. They like slave labor overseas. They don't like the fact that 50%, I mean, they love the fact that 50% of America is living paycheck to paycheck, and the other half is doing fairly well. That's just wrong, Benny. And it's wrong because Congress sold them out. Lock, stock, and barrel. Over the course of several years, that's what's happened. That's why China's doing what they're doing. That's why this guy is getting by with what he got by. Ukraine almost being able to take out our president because of greed. The profit motive. I was on CNN and they said, well, Congressman, 60% of the money is being spent back in our country. So it justifies killing people because we're getting, our missile defense companies are getting fat, and their lobbyists are contributing heavily to congressmen and senators' campaigns. I mean, is that what they just basically just admitted that.
Well, we can see for ourselves. We are seeing for ourselves. And think about this. This was going on for at minimum the last 4 years. I believe 100% it's been going on much longer than that. Basically, what this congressman just said, the senator just said, that Congress is corrupt, or many in Congress is corrupt. Elon Musk basically said, we are over the target. That it is basically what he said. Tesla dealerships are being attacked. Now, if this was happening on from the right side of the aisle, what would they do? January 6th shows up and they say they committed a crime, and they didn't. Okay, an insurrection, when you cannot, if you look throughout history, you will see what an insurrection looks. None of these people are generally, most of them were not armed. They were treated like criminals. While on the other hand, you Summer of Love in 2020, when black neighborhoods were being destroyed, black businesses, black-owned businesses being destroyed, many of which or some of which are no longer in business. They're done. They're over with. Has anybody done any research? Will anybody go back to Minneapolis, for example, and see exactly what has happened after the George Floyd riots? Not people won't do that, because that means you have to be held accountable for the truth, What we're watching is what I believe is truth is going to go to a whole nother level. What's about to come out, I think it's going to really shock so many people. Why? Because people are going to be shocked that this has been happening under our noses. But I want to say most people don't give a care, but you can't really care about what you don't know. But people their lives have been destroyed because they tried to warn their loved ones, they tried to tell their friends. Many people have tried to tell the truth for years. Folks wouldn't listen. A lot of them were suppressed. A lot of them were oppressed and beat down, and other catastrophic things have happened. Tragic things have happened to people, even to the point where people have lost their lives for trying to. Y'all, this is real. This war, because this is what this is. This war does not look like anything we've ever faced or ever seen before. but I believe the good side is winning. Much more is coming out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, share these notifications, share this video. I'll see you on the next one.